Chapter 88 drops right after the exchange of blows in Chapter 87. We're still in the thick of what I would like to call the World Hater Magic arc, with Fujimine causing chaos, alliances being tested, and our crew dealing with the heavy hitters with the aftermath of it all, wondering how it could have been better. The title Crystal Clear hints at clarifications and it delivers on explanations while keeping the fun alive. No massive all-out war this week, kind of feels like some type of war, but the chapter feels like a masterclass in payoff and setup. For the pacing and structure of the chapter, pacing is excellent, classic Ichi the Witch. It opens with some lingering tension from the last chapter's fight as well as Fujimine's chaos still echoing, then smoothly shifting into explanatory beats and character interactions. The middle section slows things down just enough for big reveals and a standout lighter sequence, before ramping up the emotional stakes potential setup payoffs towards the end. Structurally, it splits up nicely. Action and reflection beats onto the major clarification and a lore dump, moving towards fun and tense character moments, especially through the magic ping pong duel, which was great, and then a big hook for the future. Even the quieter moments keep you engaged because the dialogue and expressions are so sharp. It's one of the examples you can use for good character setup. Moving on to the character components that we can draw from this chapter. This chapter is stacked with those character moments. We'll start with Discaris, and she shines bright in this chapter. We get more of her personality being that mix of power, playfulness, and underlying seriousness. The Magic Pong Duel, also described as Magic Table Tennis, with Minakata as peak comedy and character work. She's definitely cheating or playing dirty in some funny or cheeky ways. The Descartes Ass in one of the panels was pretty hilarious. It shows her as more than just this abyssal witch powerhouse. She definitely has a competitive side and wants to beat Minakata by any means necessary. Next, we'll go to Takeomi Minakata. He gets the spotlight as a worthy opponent and partner in the Magic Pong game. All jokes aside, their dynamic feels fresh and sets up potential future interactions. Next, we'll move on to Fujimine, and she gets some context that gets clarified through another character's actions this chapter. We learn why a certain villainous witch earned her title. She has detoxification magic and deliberately didn't interfere against Fujimine. Smart play, because killing or harming Fujimine would have backfired lethally on her too. This adds layers to alliances and moral gray areas around the witch world. Next, we'll move on to Ichi and the crew. They get indirect development through the bigger picture. The standout is the pupil and mentor blood contract reveal. Another one is revealed to us, not just with Ichi and Discaris, and this one obviously carries a lot more weight to it. This deepens the master-disciple relationships in the series and teases generational power dynamics. Overall, characters feel alive. No one is static, even side players get meaningful beats. An example I would give, although Kumagi is not a fighter, she wants to get better at what role she failed in as well, having that reflection. Now moving to the story progression and lore components of the chapter. Story-wise, we are wrapping up threads from the Fujimine confrontation and the broader World Hater Magic arc. The chapter provides crystal clear explanations of past events and character motivations, particularly around why certain witches acted or didn't act the way they did during the chaos. It ties up loose ends from Chapter 87's flashbacks and fights without rushing. Now for the major lore drops, we'll start with the deeper insight into detoxification magic and its implications in combat, or with alliances and why certain characters were untouchable or chose specific strategies. We also have the blood contract mechanic between mentor and pupil, which gets expanded upon, which is huge for world building. It explains power inheritance, loyalty, and risks in the witch and magic system. Another one appearing was bound to happen, but we would obviously be unaware of any implications those that are revealed might have. Reveals like this imply that future arcs may contain more clarifying information through backstories and have an impact on training arcs in the future. Finally, for the lore drops, we have the connections to the World Hater Magic, Amadora Ribbon Candy, Gokuraku Kagami, and Takeomi Minakata feel more fleshed out through these clarifications. Progression-wise, the immediate threat feels addressed, or at least paused, but the chapter plants seeds for the next arc, which could be a step up from the rest we have seen so far, which is always a possibility. Now on to my final thoughts of the chapter. I'll give this a solid 9 out of 10. Not the flashiest or most action-packed, but one of those masterful setup and payoff chapters that Ichi the Witch excels at. The Magic Pong Duel is hilarious and memorable. The lore clarifications make everything click very crystal clear indeed, and that new blood contract reveal has me excited for what's to come next. This series continues to prove why it's one of Jump's brightest new lights alongside Kagurabachi, with great art, deep characters, smart world building, and that perfect blend of serious stakes with fun moments. So what do you guys think of the Magic Pong scene or the contract reveal? Predictions for the next arc? Are we in the middle of an arc? Are we going to start a new one here soon? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you're excited for the next few chapters to come like I am, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, see ya.